Imagine standing at the edge of a world untouched by human hands, where the air carries the crisp, unsullied scent of ancient forests, and the first rays of sunlight spill like liquid gold across jagged mountains. This is a place long forgotten by time, a silent expanse where rivers wind endlessly through untouched valleys, reflecting skies so vast and blue they seem infinite. Can you hear it? The gentle rustle of leaves in a wind that has blown for millennia, or the distant roar of waters cascading over cliffs unseen for thousands of years. Long before humans walked the earth, before cities rose and empires fell, the planet existed in a rhythm entirely its own. Vast plains stretched beyond the horizon, forests so dense that sunlight barely kissed the ground beneath, and mountains that towered like ancient sentinels, guarding secrets humanity has yet to uncover. Every stone, every whispering tree, every ripple in a crystal-clear lake held stories older than anything we could imagine. And yet, in the quiet corners of this prehistoric world, there lies a mystery, one that science, for all its rigor and knowledge, struggles to fully explain. What if there were gaps in the records we trust so dearly? What if the story we have pieced together from fossils, sediments, and ancient artifacts is only a fraction of a much larger, hidden narrative? These questions are not meant to unsettle, but to invite your mind into a journey, slow, deliberate, and gentle through the shadows and echoes of forgotten time. As you breathe in this ancient world, let your imagination wander. Picture the colossal ferns brushing against towering trees, their fronds swaying rhythmically as if communicating in a language we have long forgotten. The air is rich with the scent of moss and earth, a perfume that has lingered through countless ages, untouched by fire, steel, or human interference. In this world, creatures roam that no longer walk among us. Some were enormous, their footprints leaving impressions so deep that time itself seems to pause at their edges. Others moved with silent grace, their presence barely more than a whisper through the undergrowth. Imagine, if you can, the simultaneous stillness and constant motion of this prehistoric earth. The sun climbing slowly in the sky, rivers carving their paths with deliberate patience, wind shaping mountains over eons. It is a dance older than memory, a rhythm that has endured long before humanity began its brief, bustling chapter on this stage. And yet amid this immense continuity, there is a gap. Oh, a space in the story that science cannot quite fill, a period veiled in mystery where the evidence we rely upon seems incomplete or inexplicably absent. Fossils appear without predecessors, tools emerge without known creators, and ancient structures hint at intelligence we do not yet fully comprehend. What happened here, in this silent expanse of Earth, that has left such a puzzle for modern minds to contemplate? As we begin this journey, allow your senses to settle into the cadence of the prehistoric world. Feel the cool mist of morning drifting across a tranquil lake. Hear the distant cries of creatures long extinct, and sense the immense weight of time pressing gently around you. Each step, each breath, brings you closer to uncovering fragments of a story lost in the folds of history, a story that has been waiting quietly for centuries for someone to notice. This is the beginning, a place of mystery, of wonder, and of questions that may never be fully answered. And yet, in exploring the silent corridors of time, we find a beauty so profound it lingers in the mind long after the imagery fades. Let us take the first step together into a world both familiar and unfathomable, where the prehistoric Earth stretches endlessly under a sun that has witnessed more than any living being could imagine. Here, in this timeless expanse, the stage is set. The time gap awaits, and with it, the secrets of a world that existed long before our records began. As the rivers wind and the mountains rise, we step quietly into history's most elusive chapter, ready to explore, to wonder, and to dream. Beneath layers of earth and stone, hidden for millennia, lay clues that challenge our understanding of the past. Fossils, silent witnesses of ancient life, speak to us in shapes, impressions, and textures, yet their messages are often puzzling. Some follow the patterns we expect, a gradual evolution recorded meticulously in stone. Others, however, seem to defy chronology, emerging fully formed or in unexpected combinations, hinting at stories that conventional timelines struggle to explain. Picture a rocky cliffside where an imprint lies frozen in time, a human-like footprint pressed beside the shadow of a creature long extinct. The impressions are unmistakable, yet the timeline seems impossible. How could humans and such creatures have walked the earth together? Could these remnants be mere coincidences, or are they whispers from a history that science has yet to decode? With every fossil uncovered, the prehistoric world becomes simultaneously more tangible and more mysterious. In distant deserts, paleontologists have unearthed tools that appear astonishingly advanced for the strata in which they are found. Smoothly carved stones, perfectly balanced for use as instruments, lie where we least expect them. Were these the handiwork of early humans, or could there have been a civilization whose sophistication predates what we know from textbooks? The questions hang in the air, heavy with intrigue, inviting our imagination to wander through corridors of lost knowledge. Consider the sudden appearances of complex species, recorded in stone with no clear predecessors. Creatures that seem to arrive fully formed, leaving behind puzzles for scientists and historians alike. Each fossil is more than a remnant. It is a story, a frozen narrative of life, movement, and adaptation. The more we examine these clues, the more the linear story of evolution becomes nuanced, complicated, and at times beautifully confounding. As you imagine these discoveries, picture holding a delicate fossil in your hands. Feel its weight, the cool touch of stone that has lain undisturbed for thousands, perhaps millions of years. Trace the fine ridges of a leaf imprint, the grooves of a claw, the faint outline of an ancient creature's wing. Each detail connects us, in a silent and profound way, to a world long gone yet preserved meticulously beneath our feet. The silence of the past speaks louder than any modern voice. And yet these clues are not confined to Earth alone. Underwater excavations reveal ancient bones, tools, and remnants of creatures in positions that hint at narratives lost to time. Submerged landscapes, once teeming with life, now whisper stories only partially understood. Could these findings be evidence of civilizations submerged by cataclysms, or species that existed alongside humans in epochs we have yet to fully map? Each anomaly deepens the mystery, suggesting that history is more layered, more complex, and more enigmatic than any single theory could encompass. In the quiet contemplation of these fossils, one begins to see patterns and connections that the naked eye might overlook. Could there have been civilizations that coexisted with species we thought ancient and extinct? Could there have been knowledge, technology, and culture now vanished, leaving only these silent traces behind? These questions, unanswered but compelling, draw us further into the hypnotic exploration of a prehistoric world that refuses to yield all its secrets. Every fossil, every tool, every inexplicable imprint invites us to imagine, to consider possibilities that extend beyond conventional understanding. They speak to a time when the Earth was alive with mysteries, a tapestry woven from strands both known and unknown. As we move through this landscape of stone and sediment, the prehistoric Earth opens like a vast, intricate puzzle, urging us to trace its edges, explore its depths, and wonder at the story it continues to tell. Here, in the quiet revelation of fossils, the ancient world begins to whisper its secrets. And though the answers may elude us, the journey into these anomalies awakens a sense of awe, a recognition that history is far richer, stranger, and more beautiful than we could have imagined. Oh, beyond the scattered remnants of fossils lie structures that defy explanation. Colossal in scale and mysterious in purpose, megaliths rise from landscapes like silent sentinels. Their immense stones, perfectly aligned, weathered by millennia yet seemingly untouched by human hands. How were these constructed? What purpose did they serve? As we imagine the labor, ingenuity, and coordination required, the mind wanders into possibilities far beyond what recorded history reveals. Picture underwater ruins, submerged cities, revealed only through deep-sea exploration. Their stone streets, now home to coral and fish, hint at civilizations lost beneath the tides. The contours of arches, the symmetry of walls, the sheer scale of the constructions evoke awe. These ruins are more than architecture. They are a message frozen in time, a bridge to an age we have yet to fully comprehend. What knowledge guided their creators? What disasters claimed them, leaving only echoes beneath the waves? On dry land, monolithic stones stand in formations that align with the sun, the stars, and the changing seasons. The precision of these alignments suggests not only advanced engineering, but also a profound understanding of astronomy and mathematics. As we imagine ancient peoples, or perhaps unknown civilizations, maneuvering these massive stones with no modern tools, we are drawn into a narrative that questions everything we thought we knew about the evolution of human capability. Consider the texture and weight of these stones. Run your fingers over the smooth, worn surfaces and feel the echoes of the past. Hear the imagined sounds of chisels striking rock, of timber lavers creaking under immense pressure, of coordinated human effort across open plains and rugged cliffs. Sense the air, thick with dust and determination, as communities or civilizations labor not for fame or glory, but perhaps for purposes we can only speculate upon. Some structures seem impossibly advanced, their craftsmanship suggesting techniques not seen in conventional archaeology. Intricate carvings, perfectly balanced stones, and chambers built with such precision that modern engineers struggle to replicate them all point to knowledge lost in the folds of time. These anomalies hint at a prehistoric world more sophisticated than the textbooks describe, a timeline that may conceal advanced societies we have yet to uncover. The sensation of exploring these lost structures is immersive and profound. Walking through empty chambers, listening to the echoes, imagining the lives once lived within, one is transported to a world both ancient and vibrant. The scale and purpose of these constructions provoke questions that stretch the mind. Were they ceremonial, functional, defensive, or something else entirely, perhaps beyond our understanding? As we piece together these architectural mysteries, connections emerge between distant sites, megaliths, underwater ruins, and ancient structures scattered across continents. Could there have been a shared knowledge, a civilization whose reach spanned oceans and mountains, now fragmented and submerged in both time and memory? The more we explore, the more the prehistoric world expands, a vast and intricate tapestry of human, or perhaps non-human ingenuity waiting to be rediscovered. Through the lens of these structures, the prehistoric Earth becomes a living museum, filled with silent monuments that invite exploration, imagination, and reflection. They remind us that the past is not always linear, that knowledge can vanish and reappear, and that the mysteries of our world are far more layered than we can ever fully grasp. Each stone, each ruin, each monolith speaks of ambition, intelligence, and a story that time has not fully revealed. A story that beckons us deeper into the hypnotic, immersive journey of uncovering forgotten history. In the shadows of ancient structures and scattered fossils lies a subtler form of evidence, fragments of knowledge whispered across generations. Ancient texts, cryptic symbols, carvings on stone, and oral traditions offer glimpses into wisdom that seems almost too profound for the ages. These remnants hint at civilizations or societies that may have possessed insights far beyond what history books have preserved. What truths were known and later lost? What understanding of the world did our ancestors hold, quietly guiding their lives and shaping their environment? Imagine walking through a forgotten library, its scrolls brittle with age, the scent of parchment and dust mingling in the air. Symbols etched into stone seem to shimmer under the soft light, each line and curve a message frozen in time. Some patterns appear mathematical, others astronomical, while a few defy categorization entirely. Could these have been teaching tools, ritualistic markings, or records of events long past? Each fragment invites reflection, urging us to ponder the knowledge we may never fully comprehend. Myths and oral traditions carry the weight of lost civilizations. Tales of gods, celestial visitors, and ancient empires may not be mere stories. Perhaps they encode truths, subtle warnings, or forgotten technology. As you imagine the voices of storytellers, whispering by firelight, recounting events older than written history, consider how much wisdom might have been deliberately hidden or simply eroded by time. How much of what we accept as myth could have been grounded in reality. Artifacts, too, speak in hushed tones. Delicately carved tools, ornamental jewelry, and ceremonial objects reveal a sophistication that challenges our assumptions about prehistoric peoples. Some designs seem impossibly advanced for their time, prompting the mind to ask, were these objects merely decorative, or did they serve functional purposes that have been lost to us? Each discovery becomes a doorway to speculation, a chance to imagine a world where knowledge was richer, more complex, and more interconnected than we dare to assume. The calm act of observing these relics invites us into a meditative state. Visualize turning over a delicate amulet in your hands, tracing its intricate patterns, imagining the hands that crafted it and the purpose it once served. Feel the weight of centuries pressing softly, urging contemplation rather than immediate understanding. This journey through forgotten knowledge is as much about introspection as it is about history, a gentle exploration of human curiosity, intelligence, and creativity across time. As we immerse ourselves in these remnants, questions naturally arise. What wisdom was lost through catastrophe, ignorance, or deliberate erasure? Could our ancestors have understood principles that modern science is only now beginning to rediscover? The calm narrative allows us to drift through these inquiries, each question a thread leading deeper into the tapestry of prehistoric life and thought. Even the fragments we hold hint at a grander whole, a knowledge that, if pieced together, could transform our understanding of history. Perhaps mathematics, astronomy, medicine, or even social organization was understood in ways we have yet to appreciate. The echoes of this lost knowledge resonate through time, inviting us to meditate on the possibilities, to gently imagine civilizations whose wisdom has been partially concealed by the mists of history. The exploration of forgotten knowledge is immersive and hypnotic, blending tangible artifacts with the imaginative reconstruction of a world that once was. As you envision the pages, carvings, and oral stories, allow yourself to drift into the calm reflection of history, feeling the weight and wonder of civilizations that have quietly shaped the foundation of our present. Each symbol, story, and relic is a bridge to the prehistoric mind, an invitation to contemplate the depth of human potential and the mysteries that endure. Modern science, for all its rigor and precision, often encounters profound enigmas when examining the remnants of our prehistoric past. Fossils, artifacts, and ancient structures occasionally defy the chronological frameworks we rely upon, presenting puzzles that challenge even the most seasoned archaeologists and paleontologists. How can a perfectly preserved tool appear alongside creatures that supposedly existed millions of years earlier? Why do some fossils seem out of place, as if history itself skipped a page? These anomalies spark curiosity and debate, reminding us that our understanding of time and development is far from complete. Consider the gaps in the fossil record. Each missing link is a silent. The mind drifts into the quiet spaces between known species, imagining creatures that left no trace or events that erased entire chapters of existence. Fossils speak in fragments. Sometimes a single footprint challenges the textbooks, a shadow of a presence that science struggles to categorize. Could these discrepancies hint at civilizations or life forms that science has yet to acknowledge? The calm narration allows the imagination to wander, embracing the uncertainty rather than seeking immediate answers. Dating techniques, while remarkably advanced, are not infallible. Radiocarbon dating, stratigraphy, and thermoluminescence each carry margins of error, occasionally producing results that contradict prevailing theories. Imagine a fossil dated to a time when, according to history, no humans should have existed, or a tool whose sophistication seems impossible for its era. Each inconsistency is an invitation to wonder. Are we interpreting the evidence correctly, or is the timeline of history more fluid than we assume? Conflicts between disciplines further deepen the mystery. Archaeology, paleontology, geology all examine fragments of the past through different lenses, yet sometimes their conclusions clash. Theories that seem solid in one field may be questioned in another, creating a tapestry of uncertainty that scientists must navigate carefully. In these moments, imagination complements inquiry, allowing us to envision alternative scenarios that conventional analysis may overlook. Perhaps ancient societies possessed knowledge lost over millennia, or catastrophic events erased key evidence before it could be recorded. The calm immersion into these dilemmas encourages viewers to ponder alternative histories. What if our interpretations of time, progress, and civilization are shaped more by assumptions than reality? Could advanced civilizations have arisen and vanished long before what we consider the dawn of human ingenuity? Softly, the narrative draws attention to the delicate balance between fact and speculation, allowing the mind to linger in the space where science meets mystery. As you imagine these scientific challenges, consider the detectives of our past, the researchers meticulously studying fossils, examining soil layers, and tracing artifacts. Their work is painstaking, yet it often raises more questions than answers. Visualize the careful brushing of dust from an ancient fossil, the subtle shift of strata under a geologist's hand, the quiet excitement as a fragmentary tool is uncovered. Each action embodies a delicate exploration, a meditation on both the known and the unknown. Ultimately, scientific dilemmas are not obstacles but invitations. They beckon us to explore further, to remain curious, and to accept that history may be more intricate and mysterious than we can currently measure. The hypnotic rhythm of reflection allows the audience to drift through the puzzles of time, imagining scenarios that stretch the limits of conventional understanding. In this space, wonder is not only permissible, it is essential. The narrative maintains a calm, contemplative tone, blending rigorous observation with gentle speculation. It encourages viewers to meditate on the possibilities, to imagine the unknown civilizations, lost knowledge, and temporal anomalies that challenge our perception of prehistoric Earth. Through this lens, scientific dilemmas transform from mere contradictions into portals for exploration, inviting a serene yet profound journey into the mysteries of history. Imagine stepping into a world where the line between known history and legend blurs. Prehistoric landscapes stretch endlessly, and in this quiet, untouched realm, the possibility arises that humans, if they existed at all, may have crossed paths with beings, civilizations, or creatures that science has yet to acknowledge. Could there have been interactions between early humans and unknown advanced societies, or encounters with prehistoric species whose intelligence or behavior we can only speculate about? The mind drifts gently into this realm of imagination, guided by a calm, hypnotic narrative. Picture a dense forest, sunlight filtering through towering ancient trees as distant sounds, rustling leaves, a flowing river, the low call of unknown creatures fill the air. In this immersive scene, you might witness humans cautiously approaching a settlement of beings with technology or knowledge far beyond what we expect for the era. The scene unfolds slowly, every sensory detail magnified, the subtle scent of wet earth, the texture of stone under hands, the echo of voices or calls that seem eerily familiar yet entirely alien. The narration emphasizes calm observation, inviting the audience to explore these encounters without fear, purely in curiosity. Perhaps a small group of humans discovers a machine-like structure, its purpose inscrutable, yet perfectly functional. Or they find tools of incredible precision, meticulously crafted from materials they could scarcely comprehend. Could these artifacts hint at collaboration or mere coincidence? Could these prehistoric encounters have influenced the development of human knowledge, only to be forgotten by history? The questions linger gently, like a whisper, allowing viewers to contemplate possibilities that stretch beyond conventional understanding. Imagine an encounter by a riverbank where humans observe majestic creatures displaying unexpected intelligence, cooperating, communicating, and perhaps even guiding their environment in ways that challenge our assumptions. Each sound, each movement is described with sensory precision. The glint of sunlight on scales or feathers, the feel of water flowing over rocks, the faint, unplaceable scent of distant flora. These moments immerse the audience fully, creating a sense of being present in the prehistoric scene, feeling the quiet tension of discovery and the awe of the unknown. The storytelling balances fact and imaginative speculation. While no definitive evidence may confirm such encounters, the narrative encourages gentle exploration. What if interactions with unknown civilizations shaped myths, legends, and fragments of knowledge that survived only in whispers? Could some artifacts, symbols, or ruins be subtle echoes of these fleeting meetings? Viewers are invited to imagine the delicate threads connecting past and present, human and unknown, reality and speculation. Through reflective questions and sensory immersion, this section invites the audience to meditate on the vastness of prehistoric life and the mysteries it holds. Could humanity's understanding of itself be only a fragment shaped by chance survival in the incomplete records of time? Each detail, the sound of footsteps on moss, the shimmer of light on a river, the rustle of hidden creatures, enhances the hypnotic quality of the narration, maintaining a calm, immersive, sleep-friendly atmosphere. Ultimately, prehistoric encounters are portrayed not as certainties, but as possibilities, gently explored through vivid imagery and imaginative storytelling. They bridge the known and unknown, grounding the narrative in a serene contemplation of history's mysteries. This section allows viewers to wander mentally through lost worlds, engaging their curiosity and sense of wonder, while maintaining the meditative, soothing rhythm that carries the documentary's immersive style. As we drift deeper into the uncharted expanses of prehistoric time, the mind begins to wander beyond conventional explanations. What if the answers to the mysteries we have uncovered do not fit neatly within the frameworks of modern science? Here we explore theories that stretch the imagination yet remain tethered to the hypnotic, immersive narrative style. Theories of lost, advanced civilizations, time anomalies, or cataclysmic events that erased knowledge from history invite the audience to gently contemplate possibilities that science has yet to fully explain. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon, carved by forces that no human hand could have commanded, and considering the idea that perhaps long before recorded history, intelligent beings shaped landscapes, built monuments, and recorded knowledge in ways that have now been lost. The wind whispers across the stone surfaces, carrying a sense of forgotten wisdom. Could there have been civilizations whose technological and intellectual capacities rivaled our own, only to vanish without a trace? Each suggestion is presented with calm curiosity rather than urgency, allowing viewers to drift through these hypotheses like explorers of time. Consider the possibility of time itself behaving unpredictably in certain epochs, anomalies in the timeline that leave behind puzzles of sudden appearances and disappearances in the fossil record. Could certain events have created pockets of reality where civilizations thrived and vanished, leaving behind enigmatic clues? Or could ancient cataclysms, immense and incomprehensible, have wiped civilizations clean, leaving only scattered ruins and mysterious artifacts for us to ponder? The narration guides the imagination through these scenarios with a soft, hypnotic cadence, ensuring that speculation remains a gentle mental exploration rather than an alarming claim. Visualize ancient structures rising from beneath oceans, preserved against the currents of time, or symbols etched in stone that speak to knowledge we no longer understand. So every sensory detail is amplified. The sound of waves lapping against submerged pillars, the faint echo of chambers long swallowed by the earth, the cool, damp air of hidden caves. These descriptions create a vivid tableau that invites viewers to immerse themselves fully in the scenes, contemplating the Awadi essay without the need for definitive answers. The section balances speculation with grounding in observable phenomena, artifacts, ruins, fossils, and anomalies that science documents but struggles to explain. By juxtaposing factual evidence with imaginative possibilities, the narrative cultivates a calm, contemplative tension. The audience is aware of mysteries that are real and anomalies that are documented, yet encouraged to explore interpretations beyond conventional reasoning. Rhetorical questions flow naturally through the narration. Could lost civilizations have influenced the rise of humanity in subtle, unrecognized ways? Is history merely a fragment of a far greater, untold story? Each theory is presented slowly, deliberately, and with sensory immersion. The soft descriptions of landscapes, structures, and artifacts draw the viewer's mind into a meditative state. This calm, reflective approach ensures that even when exploring radical ideas, the hypnotic tone remains consistent, supporting a sleep-friendly and immersive experience. Viewers are guided to consider multiple scenarios, mentally exploring the vast canvas of possibilities that exist between science, history, and imagination. Ultimately, this section highlights the central mystery, the prehistoric time gap. By presenting theories that extend beyond conventional understanding, it deepens the audience's sense of wonder, inviting contemplation rather than conclusion. The narrative remains serene, hypnotic, and richly descriptive, encouraging the viewer to dwell in curiosity, reflecting on what may have existed before history as we know it. As we continue our journey through the echoes of the prehistoric world, imagine yourself as a quiet observer, slowly assembling fragments of a vast, forgotten puzzle. Each fossil, artifact, and ruin is like a delicate piece waiting to be placed carefully into the intricate mosaic of ancient history. The mind drifts gently over these clues, absorbing the textures, shapes, and stories embedded within each relic. How did these pieces come to exist, and what do they reveal about civilizations lost to time? Picture yourself walking through a hidden cavern, the air thick with the scent of earth and stone, your fingers tracing carvings whose meaning has been obscured for millennia. The soft light illuminates intricate patterns, each telling a story of innovation, survival, and perhaps wisdom that surpassed our understanding. Could these traces connect distant lands, linking civilizations whose existence has only been hinted at through whispers of myth and legend? As you move through this mental landscape, the rhythm of your thoughts slows, matching the gentle cadence of the narration. The fossils and artifacts scattered across this timeline invite careful reflection. Ancient tools, seemingly simple yet crafted with an intuition lost to modern hands, human-like footprints alongside the remains of creatures long extinct and submerged ruins rising silently from the depths, all contribute to a growing sense of wonder. Imagine carefully flipping through ancient pages, their parchment delicate under your touch, revealing cryptic symbols and diagrams. Each fragment carries echoes of knowledge, urging you to ponder connections that science may not fully explain. As the narration unfolds, encourage yourself to visualize assembling the puzzle. One piece might suggest the existence of a culture capable of astronomical observations far earlier than recorded history indicates. Another might hint at advanced construction techniques preserved in ruins now buried beneath sand and water. How do these disparate elements fit together? Could there have been exchanges of knowledge between civilizations separated by continents and millennia? The possibilities unfold gradually, like a meditative journey through time, allowing your imagination to roam freely yet soothingly. Imagine walking along the corridors of submerged cities, the cool water pressing softly against your skin, the faint light illuminating submerged pillars that have withstood the test of ages. Each step through these spaces brings a sensory connection to the past. The echo of empty chambers, the feel of smooth stone beneath your fingertips, the silence broken only by distant aquatic currents. These sensory details anchor the speculative exploration in immersive experience, ensuring the mind is engaged yet relaxed, a state conducive to contemplative reflection. As connections begin to emerge, the audience is invited to consider the bigger picture, the interplay between myths, artifacts, fossils, and anomalies. Each element on its own might seem mysterious or inexplicable, but together they suggest patterns, narratives, and histories that whisper of civilizations that could have existed long before recorded timelines. Could it be that our understanding of human history captures only a fraction of the truth, leaving vast gaps to be filled by imagination, observation, and careful contemplation? The pacing here is deliberate and gentle, emphasizing calm immersion rather than urgency. Rhetorical questions and sensory-driven descriptions flow seamlessly, allowing the viewer to drift mentally through each scene, connecting fragments of forgotten history in a meditative, hypnotic rhythm. By the end of this section, the audience should feel as though they have stepped into the role of a detective of time, piecing together clues with patience, curiosity, and awe. Ultimately, this section bridges the mysteries explored in prior chapters, preparing the mind for reflection, contemplation, and the gentle conclusions to follow. The sense of discovery is maintained without stress or abrupt revelation, keeping the immersive, sleep-friendly tone intact while deepening the engagement with the prehistoric time gap. Now, let your mind drift into the vast expanse of time itself, stretching far beyond the limits of recorded history. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice, gazing across a horizon where the known world meets the mysteries of the prehistoric past. The air is still, carrying with it the faint whispers of eras long gone, times when mountains rose, rivers carved valleys, and forests stretched endlessly under untouched skies. What secrets have been lost in the shadows of eons? What knowledge, what civilizations may have vanished before humanity even began to write its first stories? As you breathe slowly and deliberately, picture yourself walking through empty, ancient landscapes. The sun casts gentle patterns across rolling plains, illuminating the textures of stone, soil, and leaf. Streams bubble quietly, their sound a calming undercurrent beneath the weight of history. Each step you take is a meditation on what once was, a silent exploration of the unknown. The human imagination becomes a bridge across millennia, allowing you to sense life and activity that left no trace, to feel the presence of beings whose stories were never recorded. Consider the mysteries held in fossils that defy conventional timelines, artifacts whose origins remain debated, and myths that whisper truths buried beneath layers of legend. Could there have been knowledge or wisdom far older than we can comprehend? Could entire civilizations have risen and disappeared, leaving only the faintest impressions of their existence? These questions are not meant to disturb, but to gently provoke wonder, to awaken curiosity while maintaining a sense of calm reflection. Visualize yourself tracing the shapes of ancient symbols, carved stones, and submerged ruins. Imagine turning fragile pages of texts that might have existed in some distant lost archive. Each element evokes a profound sense of awe, a reminder that the story of the world is larger than our records suggest, and that every discovery, every fossil, every legend is a window into the vast, uncharted terrain of prehistory. How much of what we think we know is only the surface of a far deeper reality? The narrative here is intentionally slow and meditative. Soft, sensory descriptions help the mind wander through imagined spaces while remaining rooted in a hypnotic calm. The audience is invited to contemplate the passage of time, the impermanence of civilizations, and the enduring mysteries that stretch across millennia. The sun rises and sets over unseen landscapes, rivers carve paths through untouched forests, and mountains stand as silent witnesses to the cycles of creation and decay. Rhetorical questions weave seamlessly into the storytelling, prompting gentle reflection without demanding answers. What might humanity learn if we could peer beyond the veil of recorded history? What knowledge has been lost to the ages, and what fragments remain, waiting quietly to be rediscovered? By exploring these contemplations, the mind is both engaged and soothed, perfectly aligned with the immersive, sleep-friendly documentary style. This section acts as a slow, meditative pause, a space to absorb, reflect, and marvel at the enormity of time and the mysteries it conceals. It deepens the audience's connection to the prehistoric world, preparing them for the conclusion, where the enigma of the time gap will be gracefully summarized. The sense of awe is calm, gentle, and lingering, leaving viewers in a state of quiet contemplation, ready to transition toward rest, while their imagination drifts across the vast landscapes of the ancient past. As our journey through the deep and uncharted corridors of prehistory comes to a close, take a moment to let the mind settle, reflecting on the vast mysteries that stretch across time. The prehistoric time gap, a silent enigma that defies conventional science, remains a profound reminder of how much of our world's story is still hidden, waiting to be discovered. Mountains, rivers, forests, and ancient seas bear witness to eras long before humanity's written record began, and their stories whisper quietly, urging us to imagine and wonder. Visualize yourself standing atop a gentle rise, watching the sun pour golden light over landscapes untouched by human hands. Feel the soft wind brushing against your skin, carrying the faint scent of distant forests and ancient waters. This is a world that once existed in its own rhythms and cycles, a world that may have known life, civilizations, or knowledge lost to time. Even as science struggles to explain every anomaly, each discovery, a fossil, an artifact, or a ruin offers a glimpse into the complex and often mysterious prehistory of our planet. Reflect on the fossils that challenge timelines, the structures that defy explanation, and the myths that hint at wisdom long forgotten. Consider the possibility of civilizations that rose and fell, leaving only faint traces, and the gaps in the records that leave questions unanswered. Could our understanding of history merely scratch the surface? Might entire chapters of existence remain hidden, preserved only in whispers of stone, bone, and memory? These reflections invite calm curiosity, a gentle intrigue that encourages the mind to wander without urgency, perfectly suited to a meditative, immersive state. As the narrative gently winds down, allow yourself to feel the interconnectedness of all these mysteries. Imagine the puzzle pieces of ancient history, each fragment, fossils, texts, ruins, myths, finding its place in a grander, unseen tapestry. The time gap endures, not as a source of frustration, but as a gateway to imagination and contemplation. It reminds us of the vastness of time, the resilience of the earth, and the fleeting nature of human knowledge in the grand scope of history. The final moments are soft and reflective, evoking awe and serenity. Picture the fading light stretching over ancient landscapes, rivers murmuring quietly, forests standing silent and eternal. The mysteries of prehistory remain, not fully solved, yet inviting us to dream, to question, and to explore with reverence and calm. Even as the video draws to an end, the sense of wonder lingers, allowing viewers to drift into rest or sleep while their minds continue to wander among the shadows and echoes of the distant past. Close with a gentle affirmation of humanity's enduring curiosity and the unending allure of ancient mysteries, let the audience carry with them a quiet sense of awe, a hypnotic calm, and a renewed appreciation for the unfathomable depth of time that stretches far beyond our everyday understanding. The prehistoric time gap remains a timeless puzzle, an invitation to wonder, to imagine, and to journey inward as much as outward across the endless landscapes of history.